All right, there we go. Hey guys, it's Ryan, and I got here with me, I got John and Gina. Say hi, John and Gina.
How's
Hey,
it going?
John, you want to give us your full name, rank, and serial number, and company, and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. John Christopher. I'm with the Coldwell Banker here in Los Feliz. I've been with the company for 16 years now, and working alongside Gina. And I'll go ahead and let Gina introduce herself.
I'm Gina Canzona, and I'm a member on the John Christopher group. We're a team, banker, and yeah.
Right on. Well, I think this is kind of a unique little setup we got here because every one of us is either second generation in the real estate mortgage game or more. So, John, are you second or third generation?
I am a second generation agent. My father was a broker for 50 years now. He just celebrated his 50-year anniversary and recently retired. He owned and operated a Century 21 in Atwater Village, and he had about 75 or 80 agents working there at one point. It was a pretty large operation. Then he sold that branch to John Douglas, and then that got sold to eventually Coldwell Banker, and that's where I'm at now. I've been there for my entire career. Like I mentioned, about 16 years, but literally grew up in a real estate office. Been around it my entire life and knew I was going to do this from a very early age, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I had a great mentor in my father, so I was really lucky to have that relationship with him.
Yeah, totally. We're in the same boat. You beat us out though. My father's been in the game for about 30 years, so he's got a couple more years on my pops. Nice. Gina, whereabouts were your family practicing real estate?
Yeah, mine pretty much same whole my dad was a broker. He's been a broker for over 35 years in LA. And he opened up his own little brokerage called Canzona Realty. He had a few agents under him, but now he mostly does other sorts of real estate investments, and now he's also a broker in Las Vegas. So.
Gotcha. And John, do me a favor. Can you turn down your speakerphone just a couple clicks?
Yeah, let's do it. Fix this here. Better?
Yeah, that's all good. Okay, cool. All right, so a couple things we wanted to start off with a conversation. You guys are based in LA, and I miss you guys so much. I miss the food. So what we're gonna do is kind of have a couple questions and go back and forth and share some fun information about what market you're in and stuff like that. So first question I have is, what is your guys' feeling about the LA market right now, and are there still great opportunities? Both are there still transactions that you guys have going right now, and what do you see for the market after COVID has passed?
Well, I'll let Gina handle this, and we actually were just talking about this the other day. So Gina, I think you can mention some of the points that we talked about.
Yeah, well, there are definitely great opportunities out there. We've seen buyers get discounts up to 10% off their accepted price, and yeah, it's actually crazy. It's a great time because there's less competition out there. That helps your negotiation, helps people, get better deals on some properties. And we are also in a transaction right now, and it's going smoothly with you, Ryan, and just goes to show that things are still moving and running.
Nice.
Yeah, we opened that escrow right before all of this happened. I think it was literally like the week before this whole stay-at-home order started. And we've been fortunate to be able to work through all this as a team. Ryan, you've been doing an awesome job with Gina as well, in moving things right along. Obviously things are moving a little bit slower given all the restrictions we've had, but our industry certainly hasn't missed a beat, I don't think, in getting deals closed that are open. I have heard some agents telling me that they've had some buyers get cold feet or their job situations changed, and some deals have fell out in that regard. But buyers who still have the means to close the deal, they're very much on board in getting their homeownership goals met. And I get it because rates are very low right now. And another thing we talked about the other day, it's always attractive to have a set monthly housing cost. at the lowest possible interest rate you can possibly have, especially in an area where Los Angeles, where rates with rents are all over the place. We have a constant influx of people and a shortage of housing, and we've seen rates go through the roof recently, and we may see a little dip as a result of a lot of the job loss that we have, but things are going to settle. Once the dust settles, we're going to be right back into that same boat. And if you could take advantage of these low rates, and if you plan on having roots here in Los Angeles for more than 5 years, for years to come, you can't go wrong in owning property here with the lowest rate you can possibly get.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gina, we set this call up because you said that you had a couple of questions that you wanted to go over. So what were the questions that you wanted me to hit on?
I just wanted to ask you questions that I've been getting from clients is, what is going on with the mortgage market right now? Is it a good time to get pre-approved? Are rates going up or down? What is the whole deal with all of this?
Gotcha. So kind of to encapsulate what's going on with the mortgage side of things is that things are good. Rates are really, really low still, but there are a couple pockets of a few pockets. So the main thing that affects you guys is the high balance and jumbo territory. High balance and jumbo specifically are really taking a big hit right now in pricing because of the rules about how collateralized debt obligations and mortgage bonds and how they're sold. A lot of technical mumbo jumbo. So if there is a way to do a loan where you're staying within the conforming limits for that county, about 510 in most California, then you can actually get a significantly lower rate. And you can also do combination loans, doing a first mortgage and a second mortgage, a lot of creative structures. There are other programs as well. Like, for example, there is a big difference between lenders when it comes to FHA and VA. For example, Summit Funding, the bank I work for, is a seller servicer of FHA and VA. We sell direct to Ginnie Mae. We're one of only about 90 or so banks in the US that sell directly to that company. A lot of other banks, they sell direct for conventional loans, but not for government loans. So what that means is that when you compare different lenders against each other, we're in some cases about 3 points better for the same loan or for the same interest rate when it comes to shopping them. Also, the guidelines are a little different right now. So because Summit is really financially well backed, we have a lot less restrictive guidelines. So the overlays that have gone on top of FHA and VA guidelines, whereas we've gone from 550 minimum score to 620, other lenders have increased their minimums to about 680 or higher. So we don't have any overlays, when it comes to 640 and above, we don't have any overlays. We're still cranking. So long story short, it's very fluid and it's creating a lot of divisions and differentiation between lenders because of how financially backed we are. We can go into a lot of the back end stuff, but really all that matters is we're still getting deals done and there's no slowing down the purchase market right now from a mortgage perspective. The biggest thing that we're seeing in terms of people getting their getting deals going though is that making sure they still have jobs. So main thing is if you're on a furlough from work and you're not getting paid, we have to make sure that you are getting paid at the time of closing. We have to make sure you're back to work, and if anything disrupts it, then that will make a big difference. Now remember, every mortgage company right now has to verify you have a job at closing and that you're getting paid, and if you don't tell your lender, it's going to get found out. So no reason not to.
Don't keep that a secret.
There's a couple knuckleheads that are think they can get away with it, and they're not telling their lenders.
Been there, done that, my friend.
So
hey, I got another quick question for you. I've had some people concerned about the process of how we're completing from start to finish. Here in Los Angeles, there's limitations on accessing the property. I've heard of some lenders doing drive-by appraisals right now. Are you guys one of them?
Yes, we are. So they always want to do a full appraisal as their first choice, but we do follow Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines when it comes to the drive-by appraisal. So yes, it is totally doable to do them. We have noticed that, just common sense, there's a lot of appraisers that are not working right now because they don't want to go out into the environment that we're in. And a lot of people don't want appraisers to come into their house. They want to minimize that as much as possible. So besides, property inspection waivers, or basically the automated system telling us we don't have to do an appraisal in person, there are other ways we can get around appraisals in a lot of situations. Not every situation, but a lot of them.
Excellent. And another question, I know you don't have the magic crystal ball. I wish I did too.
I'm ready. I'm ready. What you got?
Where do you see us going with all this in the next few weeks with rates and whatnot? I know you guys had a little jump just given the volume of applications and loans that the banks were getting. I saw rates went up a little bit like a week ago, just a tad, but you know they're still historically low. But what direction do you think we're headed in?
I think we're going to be, you know, I put it this way. Rates did spike up for a minute for legitimate reasons. So, you know, let me show you this. This is kind of a unique thing to share. Let's go right here. I'll grab this right here, and I'm going to show you the Fannie Mae Bond. Mortgage interest rates are controlled by the bond market and not the Fed rate. So whenever you hear somebody saying the Fed dropped the rate to 0, no, it's not true. These are traditional trading days. You see how it's a really small adjustment each single day. Make this as big as possible here. A little adjustment each day. This is normal trading. As it goes up is good. That means rates are lower. And then as we started hitting all this COVID stuff, that's when they started getting really good. This is about when COVID started getting into a real deal. Then everybody started selling off their bond portfolio because they had margin calls. Everything was going crazy. Fed jumped in. They bought a whole bunch of mortgage-backed securities. They got good for about a day, and it was not nearly enough. These are gigantic, like kick in the pants, like, oh my God, gut punch days of how volatile it is. This is the highest it was, or the lowest it was, the highest it was, and it ended up right in the middle. Just crazy amounts of volatility. And then the Fed basically said that they were going to buy an unlimited amount of bonds, and it's gotten better since then. Now, right now, rates are at, you know, basically they're all-time high, and the Fed's keeping them where they're at. Now, it's not just right now about, there we go. It's not just right now about what is the market doing. It's about what is each individual mortgage company doing for maintaining their ability to do mortgages. Some mortgage companies have stopped doing refinances entirely because of cash flow management. Some of them have just increased their rates to the point where it's unfeasible for them to do, or they're scaring off clients, and only people who have to refinance are doing it, and they're pushing them out farther, and they're going to drop rates down. We're in a different situation when it comes to our locking policy with refinances. We have great rates. We're not pushing them up. We're not artificially increasing them. We just require that we cannot lock a loan until it's been underwritten and we have an appraisal back. That's uncommon for any kind of normal market, but it does give clients the best rates possible by doing that. So it's a super unique and fluid situation. But in terms of what I think rates are going to do, I think at least through the election and probably, you know, through next year even, we're going to see rates really, really low. And at least in, you know, through the election, they're going to keep rates where they are or lower on the purchase side.
Yeah, I think they have no choice at this point, given what's panning out here across the country.
Mm-hmm.
One other question I had for you: refinances. Since you kind of touched on that, would you recommend people with rates, you know, higher than 4.5–5% consider refining right now?
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know, when it comes to refinancing, we say it's personal finance is 90% personal and 10% financial. If I'm going to steal from Dave Ramsey a little bit. When you're thinking about it, you got to figure out what's your long-term plan. So some people, it makes sense to do that because they're going to see monthly payment savings. They're going to be there long enough to recoup any costs that they roll into the loan. Or if you're someone who has a 4% loan right now, which is still great over historical time periods, but if it's going to, if it's going to roll in more cost and you're only going to be there for, let's say, 12 months before you know you're going to sell and relocate, I might tell somebody not to do it. So it does come down to a personal situation. You know, I've had some clients that I locked in at, 2.875 recently, and it was a slam dunk, and they ended up canceling. You know why? They said, oh, instead of me refinancing, I'm going to sell one of this investment property I have and just pay off my house. Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't. Yeah, do that. I would do that. Yeah. Didn't even sound like that was an option before.
An honest lender, ladies and gentlemen. You don't come across those too often, right?
I get way more clients by being honest and telling people and talking people out of transactions than I do from.
Right. We want some longevity in this business, so you got to be forthcoming and give them the good advice.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, let's do this. Let's jump into some fun stuff now. One of the things I love about LA is that your identity is kind of connected to the neighborhoods you live in and to your preference on things like that. So I want to kind of jump into to show an example of how a local expert is way better for finding out these pockets of houses and neighborhoods that are best fit for a client. So let's kind of jump over to a street view, into some maps, and kind of play around with what neighborhoods you would suggest for clients that are, let's say, first-time buyers looking for their first house, young couples, or even a young family with, little ones that are thinking about school districts for the first time.
Well, school districts is always a big one. Gina, you could touch base on that one.
School district, you said?
Yeah. Ryan was saying people with families, or what was the other question you had, Ryan?
People who have young families that are looking for their first house, or young families even that are looking for their first or second house that are considering schools. So it could be one or the other.
That John and I actually work in a lot is Highland Park, Glassell Park, and Washington in particular has a really great school district. And in Highland Park and Glassell Park, you can definitely find good buys for first-time buyers. And prices are definitely a little more affordable than LA proper, but it's definitely a good place to start. And it's probably, prices are gonna appreciate there for sure. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's become one of the more popular areas. This little corridor you're looking at right now is Northeast Los Angeles, which consists of like Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Glassell Park, Mount Washington, and Atwater Village, where I live. And what's the big draw in these areas, there's a lot of character homes. They're really cute homes built in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, craftsman, Spanish style. And they have some great walkability. You can see that main strip in the middle there, York Boulevard, tons of cafes and really cool bars and really neat shops. It's got a really neat feel. It's a very diverse area. You have all kinds of different types of people, a lot of young professionals, a lot of young families. And it's centrally located to everything in LA. Geographically, I mean, if you look at it, it's kind of near Pasadena. You're 10 minutes from Burbank. You're close to Glendale. You're close to downtown, and those are where a lot of people work. So it draws a lot of different types of people from different types of industries, and it has a lot to offer. Like you mentioned, LA is just such a neat place. So you were talking about some food. There's so many good restaurants in these pockets over here to check out. Along Eagle Rock Boulevard, along York, along Colorado. There's just so many different things. Donut Fiend was one of them right there. A couple other places.
Right inside of it.
Donut Friend, yeah, that place is awesome. Strawberry Donut Killer. There it is, the Strawberry Donut. You're looking right at it. One of my favorites. I haven't had that in a minute. Don't show me that. You're tempting me. But yeah, it's really cool. And then like just off of the strip here, York, you can walk to like so many really neat houses and neat streets. So there's a lot of cool properties around here that attract a lot of different types of people.
Yeah, these houses definitely have some character to them. You don't
Yeah, and it's just getting better and better. The area, I hate to use the word gentrification, but it has gentrified quite a bit over the past 10 years or so. And some people are just really doing some really neat things to these properties and restoring them to their original beauty, because like I said, these homes have just really neat character and some cool attributes to them.
Oh wow! So Donut Friend was I can't help it. I'm a me, I'm a foodie at heart. So what are the other little spots in on York that like just make you excited?
I used to hang out at no coincidence, but Johnny's. There's a bar on York called Johnny's that's pretty cool. And then Cafe Dulce de Leche. It's like a a little coffee shop a lot of people hang out at.
Johnny's Bar, here we go.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little hangout. You always find a good crowd in there.
Given a feel for the character. That's definitely got some character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like that whole boulevard, it kind of has that vibe. Just there's, just kind of small businesses, mom and pop style things. Like this little watering hole, a couple little restaurants.
Nice.
Joy was another one I've heard that's really good. I haven't been there myself.
Nice. Gina, what about you? You got any other top picks for your favorite neighborhood hangouts?
So for me, I like to hang out a lot in Silver Lake area.
Oh yeah.
So some of my favorite places, oh my God, there's so many good coffee shops. There's Intelligentsia, there's just on Silver Lake Boulevard. And also there's a lot of good places in Hyperion, which they're right near each other. Right there actually, next to Echo Park Lake, there's also a place called Sage, and it's super good. They've got like American food, breakfast foods, like every interesting type of pizza you could think of. But some of my, it's right there on Sunset and Echo Park Avenue almost, yeah.
Okay, I get you. Here you go. Right about here.
A lot of good bars in there too.
Yeah, some good bars are just on the street from that.
If you bars.
Yeah, lots of good bars.
Yeah, the Shortstop, Little Joy. There's a couple of places I used to hang out over there.
See, my first pick up over here would be Masa.
Masa's great, yeah.
There you go. Masa's got.
And you have Mohawk right there, which is a really good bar.
Yeah, vegan friendly, right?
Yeah, very vegan friendly.
No, this is Echo Park's such a neat area.
Yeah. Echo
If
Park.
you're a Dodger fan, Dodger Stadium's like right over the hill here. Which you guys know I'm a huge Dodger fan. I'm missing baseball right now.
Yeah,
there it is.
Right over there. You can walk to the stadium.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah. A lot of people do. It's really cool on game days. You just see a sea of blue shirts gravitating towards the stadium. It's really fun scene.
Nice.
Go Dodgers. Yeah, the Atwater Village is another place. That's where I live, and I own a couple properties, and there's some really neat like a food scene that's just kind of recently popped up over here. Just down the road. There it is. Yeah. Glendale Boulevard.
Glendale Boulevard?
Has right there, right where it says Atwater Village. There's quite a few things in there. There's Dune is amazing. Proof Bakery's phenomenal. There's Alakwa. There's Baracoa Cafe, which has been there for a while. That right there, Proof Bakery. That's one of the best bakeries in town for like breakfast stuff, little breakfast croissants and coffee. And
I gotta tell you this. My wife, every time my wife travels back to LA, she will come back with 24 chocolate chip cookies with the Maldon salt on top, and then we'll get them home and we keep them in the freezer, and then we'll heat one or two up in the oven in the little toaster oven every 2 days until they're all gone. So this is a national treasure, if anything.
Find up there every day.
Oh man.
I actually across the street, if you look across the street, Bon Vivant, that's one of my hangouts right there.
Oh yeah, it's a nice little restaurant.
Yeah, I live right down the street from here, and they have a really killer happy hour there. They have a bunch of free appetizers and It's a nice setup. And then on Friday and Saturday night, they have live music, which is great.
Nice.
And then the best breakfast burrito in town, according to Anthony Bourdain. You remember his show that he used to do?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I forget, No Reservations. If you go to the right, and you see this like rainbow colored right there, that go down by that rainbow colored thing. Tacozilla Corona. You see that little red thing right there, Tacozilla Corona? That is one of the best breakfast burritos in all of Los Angeles. They literally are lined up there too. They're proof, always has a line. This place was not on the map, and then Anthony Bourdain came and did one of his shows there, and ever since it's just been nuts. The Beastie Boys used to eat there a lot too. If you turn around, their recording studio is right behind us. It's like a large brick building. You see that building? The top of this building is where the Beastie Boys recorded, I think basically from License to Ill on. And they used to have some epic parties up there. I heard some crazy stories. And if you look up on YouTube, there's like actually videos of them, like they had a skate ramp in there, like party in the back parking lot. It was pretty crazy scene. Before my time, but I hear some neat stuff.
So this is exactly the kind of information that we gotta share with people, is that when you work with an agent that knows the area, knows the market, not only can you find these little neighborhood niches, you know what I'm trying to say, little neighborhood pockets,
yes, I know.
Kind of that perfect price point. Not just about the price point though. It's like where are you gonna feel like home? Where are you going to really identify with? So that's so huge. So you guys are
that's what Gina and I, we try to ask questions to our clients, what's important to them, if they want walkability, or if they're looking for school district, or if they need somewhere that commute's a big deal from them. We can give them some insight on an area that they would want to focus on to consider their commute to work. So I've grown up in Los Angeles, born and raised. Very few of us these days. I feel like I'm a rare bird. A lot of transplants in this town, especially a lot of agents that are transplants. So, being born and raised in the city and literally growing up in a real estate office in the neighborhood here in Atwater, and having been in the car with my father as he would do showings as I was growing up, I learned a lot about the city from a young age. And I pride myself on knowing the ins and outs, and I love Los Angeles. It's a great place to live, and I have pride in being an Angelino, so I'm happy to pass that knowledge and love on to anyone who's interested. Nice.
All right, guys. Well, as we finish up here, you guys know I don't do these for everybody. I do these for the agents I love and trust. So we've been working together for years, so I want to make sure it's for years to come. So John, Gina, tell everybody, I'm going to have all your contact info down below, but where should they go to find out more about you before just plain old picking up the phone and calling you?
Well, first and foremost, so go ahead, Gina, I'll let you handle that. You know all of our websites and stuff.
We have a website for our team. It's findyourhomela.com, and you can find information on John and I, and any information on different neighborhoods. You can even do a search for homes on there, but otherwise you can always give us an email, send us an email, give us a call. We're happy to assist with any questions or anything. Yeah.
Or also follow us on Instagram at FindYourHomeLA. We're starting to post some videos, and we'll be posting some more pertinent information. We're trying to adapt to the new environment we're in. Since we can't have face-to-face conversations, we're doing a lot of video meetings, and we'll be posting some good information on there for clients and people who are interested in real estate and what's going on with the market during these crazy times. So definitely check us out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
Oh, and our YouTube page. We just started our YouTube page. If you check us out on YouTube, John Christopher Group Real Estate Services. If you search that, you'll find us real easily.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I'll have links for all that in the description of the video down below. So you guys are awesome. You're all set. And for me, all my info will be down below, but also just look on my Facebook page. That's pretty much the hub of all things me. So you can tell a lot about me from that. So you guys are awesome. I always appreciate it. So if there's anything you or anybody watching needs, give us a call and we will take good care of you. All right.
Bye, guys.